Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is episode 19 of your Toronto Blue Jays franchise mode, and we're here in year 2024, and we're 4 days away from the trade deadline. And as you guys can see, we've had an historic run over the past couple of years. The past 5 years have been absolutely painful as we lost in the division finals against the Boston Red Sox last year. We finally made it in the playoffs, which was absolutely amazing after a couple of years of just struggling. Now this year we have struggled a bit as we're half a game back of the Tampa Bay Rays, as we've been one of the best teams. We've been also missing a lot of players to injuries, as right now we have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. should be coming back here very, very soon. We also had a very solid draft in the last video, getting Andres Garcia, who is going to be a heavy hitter for the Toronto Blue Jays in the future, at 67 overall. We also got Eric Spain, a 67 overall starting pitcher, and Willie Britta. So the future is looking bright for the Toronto Blue Jays right now. And in the last video, we also called up Eric Burdino, which we sent back to Double-A because he needed some more time developing. But we are definitely going to be seeing him next year, probably making his debut for the Toronto Blue Jays, which should be very exciting. Also, we had the developing Nate Pearson, also developing into a very nice pitcher this year. He's having a solid year, so you could also be seeing a kind of a youth going throughout the team, as you might see Mark Letter Jr. go bye-bye this year, and Ryan Boraki, depending on how things go. But the Toronto Blue Jays are looking very, very solid. We do need to make one change, as right now you got a pretty full-up lineup, as we had to send down Eric Burdino because we were filled up on starting pitchers. We got to put James Paxton right where he belongs again, and that's right there. And then Mark Letter Jr. and Boraki. But Nate Pearson, I've been thinking about trading him out, but I don't know, man. I don't know if Nate Pearson's fully ready to take that job yet. We'll have to see later on. But overall, we've been a pretty solid pitching team. Now, we do need to send down Kevin Biggio because we have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. back in the lineup. So that is a thing we do need to do before we start the simulation. And I wanted to take a look at what we can do to improve this team for this upcoming year. And I was thinking maybe bullpen-wise. I mean, you have Phil Egan, who has been struggling over the past couple of years to pitch consistently. And this year, he hasn't been doing very good. Also, before we get into that, I forgot last video to check out who made it into the All-Star game for our team. And it does not look like any of our pitchers, but Danny Jansen did make it into the All-Star game, so congratulations to Danny Jansen. That's good for him. Guerrero Jr. was injured most of the year, so we're not going to... Boba Shett made it into the All-Star game. Great for him. And Christian Yelich, so we did have a couple All-Stars. There's no pitchers to be seen up on the list. Now, I was thinking maybe we keep the team the way that it is with how big of a powerhouse we already are. I think that's going to be the best bet for the Toronto Blue Jays this year, is just keeping the way that we have the team and just going with what we have, and just trusting the team. Because it's the best thing to do right now with how many good pitchers we're having and how lethal we are as a team right now. I think it's just the best to start the simulation back up, get to trade deadline, maybe see what's out there. We do need to fix up the lineups for the roster, so we are going to have to send down, not Hannafy. I don't want to send down Hannafy. We can send down David Phillips down to Double-A. That's what we could do. There we go. That fixes that up, so let's get down to the nitty and gritty for your Toronto Blue Jays. So the Nationals giving us an offer for Luis Garcia for Eric Burdino, which I do not want to trade away, especially since he's one of our big-time starting pitchers. And I mean, Luis Garcia doesn't bring anything special to the table, good speed and stuff like that, but not a player that I'm going to be willing to trade away for our future starting pitcher, and Eric Burdino, who's been taking a very long time to develop. We've had him on the team since day one. And there we go, baby. That is the guy that we need back in the lineup, and that is our boy, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is back. He's going to be taking over Kevin LaValle, who's been a very lethal hitter for the Toronto Blue Jays over the past couple of days. He's been one of our best hitters, I would have to say. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is back in the lineup, our big stud, who is, we gave him a big-time contract, and the last video, giving him $31 million, which is just a ridiculous amount of money. So we're going to be sending Vladimir Guerrero Jr. back into position where we want him to be playing. And boom, bada bang, the Toronto Blue Jays are back at full swing. Now, we're a game back of the Rays. The Rays are a very competitive team, so we're going to have to fight for every... Look at that. Guerrero Jr. gets back in lineup. Oh, and we fucking kick the Rays' ass, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, we're going to stop for trade deadline, and we have we're tied up against the Rays. I think right now, maybe making a deal wouldn't be that bad of an idea. Like, what is our big weakness as a team right now? Moose Grove is good. Kyle Wright is decent. James Paxton hasn't been doing very good. Mark Leonard Jr., he's been decent. Boraki. I mean, you got Nate Pearson, who's been very, very good in the bullpen. John Gant has been solid. Pajone has been pretty good. Rafael Iglesias, he's kind of dropping down, but he's a nice veteran pitcher. Hildeberger's picked back up. Tyler Rogers has picked back up. And Phil Egan hasn't been doing too bad. And I'll be right back, guys. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry, I just had to drive my parents uptown quickly, but I am right back. So we're talking about players that we could possibly go and trade for. Center field, shortstop, third base, right field is all filled up. Same with left field. First base, I would say Luke Vogt has been a consistent hitter for us. He's been a pretty good Blue Jay for the past 3 years, and he's been having one of his better years this year. I think we keep him for sure. Fernando Silva, he's been playing a bit better. I don't think he's a consistent hitter, and I don't feel like Fernando Silva is going to be playing on the team any longer. I mean, a 220 average is not a type of hitting that I want from him, and I don't know, man. It is a tough decision, but I feel like we could almost take an upgrade on both. I mean, Fernando Zumra's contract is a bloody master. Silva is expiring, so it would be not that bad of an idea to, like, for example, trade Fernando Silva, maybe throw in Kevin LaValle if that. Kevin LaValle is playing way better, but you could go after a guy like Giancarlo. I mean, that contract, though, was bad. After that, it increases to $34 million, man. That is a rough contract. You go after a guy like Chad Pinder, who's very good defensively. He's not that bad of an idea, but we're looking for more of a power hitter type of deal. But I think Kevin LaValle, I mean, Giancarlo Stanton, I wish, but too expensive. I think Kevin LaValle is going to take over the DH spot for him, because there's not going to be anyone that's going to be really a fucking fantastic player to take over a player like Fernando Silva. And I mean, with how much he's struggling, I think we could probably find someone better. For the bullpen wise is going to be also a difficult piece to find for the team. You got Gerardo Diaz, who's been playing down in the minors this year, $1.2 million for this year. I don't see us trading Dylan Cousins, NHL player, making his debut in the MLB. I don't see us making any improvements. I do see us making one line change, and that's Kevin LaValle. We're going to throw him in that DH spot. He's going to be a better player for us to hit some home runs. And I mean, he's playing way better than Fernando Silva, I think, over the time that he had. I think about Kevin LaValle is going to be a better hitter than Fernando Silva in that spot. He's not the greatest left-handed hitter, but that's okay. I think the way that we have the team this year, I think we're going to leave it as it is. Kevin LaValle will come in, and Fernando Silva will sit on the bench. Nothing else we can really do. Speeds, I guess, fine. Contact, everything else is looking great. So let's get on to simulation, as we got to face up against the Tampa Bay Rays, which will be a very big series. So let's get to that, because that will be one of the bigger series, and we need to win a pretty good amount of games, and we do. We win 2-1 once again, and we have a 3 game lead in the division, which is looking fantastic for the Toronto Blue Jays right now. The Giants gives us an offer. Alfredo Guzman, which is a 70 overall pitcher for Hugh Atkins, which, no, I'm good. I am good. So overall, the Toronto Blue Jays have had one of the better years in their entire history. I would have to say they are really having a good year this year. Just keep active, man. He's not out for very long, so plays back on bench, and he should be thrown back in there. No, Jonathan Davis is. So throw Don David, which he's been one of our better hitters as well. He's really taken a step up from what he has in the past couple of years, the recent years. He's been kind of a okay hitter, 249, 224. He's really taken a big step up this year with the RBIs and his average. He's really taken a step up with his hitting, and he's a great lead-up guy. I think he's going to be a future lead-up guy for a long damn time to come. I'm really excited to have him. So let's get to the end of the year. I think we're going to make it to the playoffs. I think that's an automatic for the Toronto Blue Jays this year with how good we are. We're almost near 100 wins already, and I mean, we're not even near the playoffs yet, and Don David will be going out with an injury, so place on bench. We're going to be needing to throw in Jonathan Davis. He's already in there. Sweet. Awesome possum. But it's overall this is one of the best Blue Jays teams we have had in a long time. Like last year, we were talking about how good that team was, but this team takes it a step up higher than what it has been in the past couple of years. It has really, really taken a step up. Where is Don David? I mean, you have Bo Bichette playing. We're going to have to take a look at the entire team and just overall take a look at how each individual player has really stepped up this year and how well they have played, because we could go on and on about how good this team has played compared to last year where we went 90-72. Right now we're 87-53, which is probably one of our better records that we've ever had in the history of the Blue Jays. So let's keep on going. We beat last year's record, and we're just pouring it. We have 8 games back, so there's no way the Tampa Bay Rays makes it into back into a playoff position, and we have clinched the first seed in the division. We clinched the division. Now we're just waiting on either Seattle or the Tampa Bay Rays, so that's huge, man. We made it into the playoffs for the first time. Well, not for the first time, but we won the division for the first time in a long time. I don't even remember the last time that they won the division. So it must have been a very, very long time ago that they won the division, as the Toronto Blue Jays just hasn't been a good team in recent history. But let's take a look overall at this team and see how well the Toronto Blue Jays did this year. Don David. First guy that we were talking about, career highlight in home runs, RBIs, one of his lowest years in strikeouts. He was a great average. He just overall had a great year. His speed was up there. He was a great player to have on a team like us where we need that speed, and Don David really took that spot over, and he's really became an all-star here for the Toronto Blue Jays. Bo Bichette, 315, 22 home runs this year, tied his last year's record. Way better than last year, and he's really taken a step up hitting-wise and defensive-wise. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he didn't have very many games this year. He played less games than last year, but he tied up his home run record last season, and he had a better average this year as well. Christian Yelich, he was an RBI machine, 102. He's been in for the past 2 years. He had a better average this year, lower home runs, but that's what happens when you grow old. Then you have Tyler O'Neill, who has also been a great player for the Toronto Maple Leafs, or Toronto Blue Jays, since he's gotten on the team this year with a full year. He's had a great batting average. Luke Vogt as well, 35 home runs. That's his career high for sure. He's had a great year. As he's getting older, he's getting better. Kevin LaValle also, he was just a bloody beast. A Rule 5 pick that we never thought that would really turn out to be anything special for us. He's really been one of the special players on the team. He's been able to hit home runs. He's been really able to do everything. And you got Danny Jansen as well, been able to hit this year. Like in the recent years, he's been a mad player for us. We haven't really noticed him very much, but this year he's really taken a step up. And same with last year, as we really didn't know him. And Fernando Zumara, another pick that we didn't know that would really turn out to be anything good, but he's really stepped out the past 2 years. Fernando Silva has been kind of a disappointment, but everyone else has been looking pretty damn good. Pitching-wise, Joel Musgrove had a way better year than last year, ERA-wise and whip-wise, or whip a little worse, but same kind of year than he had last year. James Wright, 11-11. So he started off really strong, James Wright. Or Kyle Wright, I mean, he really started off really strong, and then he kind of just downplayed himself, and he didn't play as well as he usually should have. But overall, a decent year for our pitching core. We weren't the best pitching team in the world. Nate Pearson also had a very solid year. You could possibly be seeing him in that starting rotation next year, which I think is well-deserved after this great year. John Gatt also didn't have a bad year. Thomas Pahom was just a madman in that bullpen. So definitely a guy that we're going to be looking forward to as a guy that we're going to be, and Hildeberger and Egan will be our closer, but Pahon, Hildeberger, and Nate Peterson are guys that we're going to be looking at for the playoffs during when that time comes. But we're going to either be facing Seattle or so let's see who we're going to be facing. Seattle or Tampa Bay in the first round. Let's see. And the Tampa Bay Rays will be our opponents in the first round. This should be a fun one. As we got to face against the Rays. This team was on our ass at the start of the year, and then they started downplaying themselves. So let's see what they got. They got Andrew Stevenson, left fielder, who had a 274 this year. Not too bad. Then you got Matt Duffy, who can smack. He's a contact hitter. Same with Matt Stevenson, a little bit of speed, not very much. Matt Duffy, big contact hitter. Another contact hitter, and Willie Adams. I think they traded for him. No, he was a guy that we could have also picked up, but we decided not to. Travis Shaw, you got a little bit of a power hitter. He can really smack home runs against the right-handers. You got Tony Kemp, also can smack some home runs, probably about 20 home runs a season or near that. Travis Shaw, 30. He can smack. These guys can smack some home runs. They're not like 30 home run guys like we have on our team, but they could definitely smack some home runs. Kevin Kiermaier does an ultimate defensive guy for your team. He's going to definitely get you some contact. Same with Joe Adele, Nick Coffey. But they are definitely a pure contact team. And they got Johan Karamuga, a third baseman, who can also hit that ball. But you're not going to be seeing very much power out of this team, man. You're going to be seeing a lot of contact from the Tampa Bay Rays. And then their elite prospect, Tristan McKenzie, who had a decent year, not as good as some other pitchers have, but he's definitely one of the pitchers to watch out for. And same with Ryan Yarborough, whatever the fuck his name is. He's also been a great pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays the past couple of years. Same with Ryan Kingham, 83 overall. And Aaron Sanchez, we're going to be facing off against him as well if we do get a game in. He's been all across the place, Baltimore, and then he got picked up by the Rays this year. Not too bad of a paycheck, but they're not the best pitching core in the world. They only have one lefty, so we could really take advantage of those right-handers because we know how good we are against those right-handers. Once we get into the bullpen where they have Alex Cladillo and stuff like that, that's where we're going to probably get into a little bit of a mix, and Jordan Hicks, so we better stay away from the closer of Jordan Hicks. But overall, like, you have Tristan McKenzie, which we're going to be going up against, and then Nick Kingham, and then so it's going to be a little bit of a switch up. You're going to be seeing a good pitcher, then a medium good pitcher, then a really good pitcher, and then medium, and then back to good. So bullpen wise, they're not looking too bad. You have some solid guys like Yarlin Garcia, Alex Cladillo, and Jordan Hicks. Their mid relief core is not too bad. So you're facing a pretty good all-around team in the Tampa Bay Rays. Same exact team as us. I think we have a slight advantage in the bullpen-wise. I mean, once you get down to the nitty-gritty of our starting pitcher core, it starts to look pretty bleak. But if we do need to, I am willing to call up Eric Bedino and stuff like that for this playoff run. Would be something that I would do. I don't think we can, though. Be something that we do for sure for next year. Man, we just have prospects coming up the yin-yang, man. We got tons of guys that could possibly be called up in the next little bit. Groshans, Yasiel Altani did great this year. Brantley, Dom McGee's is getting up there, and overall, man, Lord, people are developing. Anyways, but this will be a big playoff series for the Toronto Blue Jays, as this is our second playoff appearance since I'm taking over as GM. Can we win the World Series in our second appearance in the playoffs? Can we do that? How well will we do against the Tampa Bay Rays? Well, you're going to have to see that in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios, amigos.